Well, we met in 1995 at a PFLAG meeting and started dating in 1996. You know, at the time, for many years, I wasn't certain that marriage would be for me, ever. Certainly, I thought it was foreclosed. It was something I wouldn't probably have in my life. And Art, you began to talk to me about getting married probably around the year 2000. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah. I felt like we clicked really quickly in our relationship, and maybe because I had been married before, I was in a heterosexual marriage before, I really wanted that feeling of committing ourselves to each other as a couple.
Yeah. You know, for me, it began to turn actually around the year 2001 after the 9/11 event. Both of us intently read the stories in the New York Times of people who died in the World Trade Center and on the planes. And what the New York Times did so nicely was to describe the relationships that people had together in that building or on that plane. And it became I began to think differently about marriage. All of a sudden I realized this is what I want. I don't want to live out my life not being proud about a relationship. And also at that time, I think you began to feel that our kids needed it as well.
Mm-hmm. We have 3 children between us, and also wanted to do this as a demonstration of our love and commitment to each other, to our families.
Yeah.
And we started planning our ceremony,
mm-hmm.
and at the time we're attending United Methodist Church, which we liked very much.
Mm-hmm.
And but we knew, because we knew the stand of the church on gay marriage, that we wouldn't be able to hold the ceremony in our own church. But as we talked about it, we sort of said to ourselves, gosh, we're letting the church off easy in a way, because we're making an assumption that we can't marry in our own church, and we need to ask. We need to just approach the church and ask permission for what we wanted to do. So we did.
We went to see a bishop who agreed to see us, but at first sent us a letter just saying you can't do this, and that's the end of that story. We wouldn't even be able to hold a reception in the social room of the church. So that's why we wanted to put a face to this kind of discrimination. Mm-hmm. We wanted to go see the bishop. He didn't change his mind, but at least he got to see us and to see our relationship. And we then went on to Old Stone Church in downtown Cleveland, and it's a Presbyterian church, and they said, sure, let's do this. And we became the first couple, same-sex couple, to marry in Old Stone Church ever. So we broke ground, and we are pioneers, in a sense, for that church. And the thought that it's right downtown in the center of the city nicely fits for our story about being involved in PFLAG Cleveland and helping to change Cleveland. And it's been a great experience in both, our wedding ceremony and PFLAG.